Welcome to Unfiltered Three, spilling the tea with
Cece,
Autumn,
and Bree.
Hi, friends.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're all well.
Yes, I want to start this episode with a question.
Ooh.
When do you start to do your decorating? Do you decorate a month before? So for Halloween, do you decorate September? For Christmas, do you decorate in November? Or are you, when the month starts? So for Halloween, you start in October. And then for Christmas, I feel like most people start after Thanksgiving, which is like the last weekend of November. And I'm just curious what you guys do, how you differ. I know this is it's got a lot of speculation around it and a lot of heavy conversations.
People take it a little too serious sometimes.
Yeah, but just like in a lighthearted, fun way.
Yeah.
Like, when do you start decorating? How long do you leave the decorations up? Like,
These are serious questions.
I'm genuinely curious. So for me personally, so it differs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get into the decorating season until Christmas. And I think that's because most of my decorations are Christmas. I also don't like I love decorating, but the idea of putting it up for 2 months, taking it down, putting it up for 2 months, taking it down is too much. I'd rather just go all out on the season that I prefer, or like my preferred favorite or whatever. So for fall, I don't really decorate for fall. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I might get some mums, I might get some pumpkins. I have a couple fall decorations. If I'm hosting a Thanksgiving is when you're gonna see my house decorated. Halloween, it's not really me, it's more my boyfriend Derek. He used to go all out in the, I think we talked about this before when we kind of
touched on
that. Yeah. But he likes to go all out with the front yard, so it's more like outdoor. But Christmas, I start November 1st. Last year, I put my Christmas decorations out on Halloween.
She did.
I'd forgotten, but that, yeah.
I don't. Bree was like, I'm not coming over to your house to help you. I refuse.
I saw it. My face dropped, and I'm like, all right, I'm going home.
Now, I don't put my outdoor decorations up until the Christmas season truly begins. It's more so just in my home because it's for me. Like, Christmas gives me that like warm hug. That sense of comfy, just warm, inviting. You can just kind of go be and exist, and it's cozy and just, So like, I fucking love Christmas, and I love certain aspects, I should say, of Christmas. And I love decorating November 1st for that. I think Brie and I are the opposite.
I'm hanging on to Halloween. Yeah, I mean, Halloween is my holiday. I would ideally put that up in August 1st, but I'll do it September 1st.
I think if I tried to put Christmas up October 1st, I would get disowned.
Yeah, I would not be over.
Even I think that would be too much.
I agree. Like, it's November 1st. That's honestly, it's been like that my entire childhood. We put it up. I think when we were like, I was really little, we did it after Black Friday, or like Black Friday weekend, like that weekend. But my parents worked retail, so it was really hard to do it going into the holiday season. And so we always did it November 1st because that's like before my birthday, before Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. And then, retail is crazy at that time of the year. Beginning of November is like the very, very, very beginning of it. It's still a little quiet. And so we always put it up. And then I would just you just get that longer vibe, like same with you with Halloween. It's just like, it's that
you want to cherish it for as
like
long
your
as you
safe
can.
space. Yeah, absolutely. Now, on the flip side of that, I have to January. So I have my 3 months because I do November, December, January, and it's more so that like I don't want to let go.
Yep.
I don't want to let go.
Yeah.
I don't want to let go. But then there comes to a point where it's like, get this fucking out of here. I don't want to look at it anymore. Or just the sense of like, I miss my home being my home. You know what I mean? Like having that separate space from the holiday season. So in February, it comes down.
Yeah. So for Christmas, I don't have a set transition period between Halloween and Christmas. I want to hang on to Halloween. It would feel nice if I had like my home before then I switched into Christmas decorations. And I'll touch more on that afterwards. But traditionally, I have always decorated for Christmas after Thanksgiving, the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, growing up at least, that's when my parents would like rearrange the house. They changed the house, both setting up Christmas to make room for the tree and stuff, and then afterwards it'll be a completely different arrangement. So it would feel really like refreshed and nice.
New, like a new space, yeah.
Yeah. But the reason why I would like to have the house back between and then like actually like usually we would take down Christmas after New Year's. Last year we did not. Andy and I just never got around to it. We had Christmas up until like spring. We didn't turn the lights on, but it was just there and we didn't clean it up. And like eventually having that stuff around for so long makes it feel cluttered in the house, and that affects me mentally. I'm already having a hard time cleaning up the house and doing the regular dishes and laundry and all that stuff. And then junk and dust starts collecting. Well, it's not junk, but at that time it feels like junk because it's just sitting around.
That's what's
There's
the beauty about it, though, is that that's why you love it so much. Is because you only get it for a certain part of the year.
Yeah,
it's that elongated that you're just like, I don't want that anymore. Like you need that refresh. Yeah, for sure. Also, I was gonna say something else. Oh, cluttered space, cluttered mind. That is a very, very true statement, and that is something that has nothing to do with the topic we're talking about today, but that is something I am tackling this winter. It's my fucking cluttered ass house.
Yeah,
because that shit drives me nuts too. That's all I think about, or all I'll see. I'll focus on it. Like it stops being the decorations that brings me joy that I had so much fun placing and then replacing, because that's what I do. Like I move shit around. Because I'll buy more stuff and new stuff, and then this will go here, this will go there, and yeah, you walk in my house, it's never the same twice. But it loses that. It loses that feel, and then you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know it's time to put it back away. It's a good, you know when it happens.
For some, that you just don't put it back up too, because you just like, you didn't allow yourself that refresh period long enough for, because that's honestly, that's where my parents are at.
Yeah, we were in the same boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I love the decoration. I love all my vintage pieces. The Halloween ones are everything to me. And then the transition, of course, for me is very traditional. It is Thanksgiving and then transition. But I'm putting it up. I'm putting my Halloween up as soon as I feel it's right. So it's usually like beginning of September, because that's when I feel it's appropriate for me to transition that. But the daunting thing I was getting to, that my ramble is now, is that I have to wrap everything, and I'm a maximalist when it comes to that kind of decoration, and it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, but the feeling I get when looking at the little scenes I make with my vintage trees and the little, it's everything to me. Like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Or else I wouldn't be putting it out.
So I felt the same way. I was like, okay, now I have to wrap these in paper, put them in a bin.
Yeah.
So last year,
you had the fragile bulbs.
Yeah, I got I updated my storage so that everything could go. And then I feel more accomplished than just like throwing it in a bin. Like I organized it, and I know that it's almost like that idea of doing a task for future autumn. And kind of having that idea of like, okay, I put this away nicely. Now future autumn is going to enjoy putting it out again. Yeah. And like having that mindset with it. It also really helps, like it really, really helps that Derek is super motivated to put it away.
Yeah,
So I'm like, okay,
that's
because
very
it'll get
helpful.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it me, like, yeah. I mean, honestly, if it were me, I'd probably have the Christmas tree up all year round, but I would change what's on the tree. Like, it wouldn't be a Christmas tree. It would just be like like all year tree.
Mm.
And I would put ornaments on it. I would put like little bunnies on it and Easter eggs, American flags, like whatever fits the season and the time. Sunglasses, like I would have so much fun with that.
So would you leave up all your trees?
No, just one, just one. Like my mom had one in the dining room when I was younger, and for birthdays she'd get like little pocket size, like wallet size pictures, and she'd frame them in this foam stuff with like string, and she'd hang them on the tree for your
Oh, that's
birthday.
cute.
She did all sorts of things like
Mm.
little turkeys and leaves and whatnot for Thanksgiving. Obviously, Christmas would have ornaments on it.
Mm.
Yeah, and I thought that was a fun idea.
That's a nice little tradition to have.
It makes me miss my tree.
Mm.
I had a palm tree. It used to be my sister's Christmas tree. They used the palm tree for their Christmas tree.
That
And
is
then-
so fitting.
Oh, yeah. They'd have their apartment cranked to 80 degrees in the winter, and you didn't feel cold. You didn't feel the winter. But I got it after they started getting Christmas trees.
Yeah.
So I had it in my bedroom, and I used to decorate it around all the seasons, too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't remember where else we were going with this, but
Well, I was gonna ask, what's your favorite like holiday tradition? What's your like favorite memory?
I love the holidays with my dad, I have to say. It's not really a memory, so it doesn't really answer your question. But it's
Oh, it's something you look forward to. It's
it's always when he's just the most carefree because like he can relax, like especially when I was younger. And they were always very fun, intentional times. And I have to say, like, as grateful as I am for what I have right now in like my current life with like my entire family, my boyfriend, my sister, her boyfriend, us, like all of that, I do at times miss it just being four of us, like my mom, my sister, my dad, and me. Especially in Virginia, like Christmas growing up, I'm going off on like a whole tangent and didn't answer your question, but Christmas growing up, we always went to my grandparents. So like we would have, it's very similar to like what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
We would have like our morning and then we would we would go next door really because I lived next door to her. And we would have Christmas with the rest of my family for that day. And it was the same people every year, my mom's side of the family. And then when we moved to Virginia, we didn't have that. Like one Christmas, I think we actually had with my dad's brother and his parents. It was weird. It just wasn't right. I loved them. Don't get me wrong. Like nothing happened. It just wasn't right. It just didn't feel right. So every year after that, we just had it, the four of us. And it was just like intentional time. And I miss that.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I relate to with is just growing up. I only had my family. My favorite was like Christmas Eve. I got to open one present.
Yeah.
And then Christmas morning, I would have to go to my parents and they'd tell me I'd have to sleep for a couple more hours.
Yeah.
So they were ready. And then we'd go open present. Well, they'd make coffee and make me wait. And my dad makes cinnamon rolls and I'd still have to wait. And then finally we could open presents.
See, yours was like a little bit more wholesome. My dad had to go smoke a cigarette before we could start. He had to get his coffee and smoke a cigarette. And then we would just be like, come on. It'd take it forever.
But it's like you said, it's the wholesome, like just intimate family time of like just really good memories and feelings, and there wasn't any stress to it.
Yeah, like
granted, I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to worry about buying presents for other people so much, or at least like me having the money to spend to do that.
Yep.
And it was just relaxing. And now it's different, and I'm not complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy the people that I get to see, and the time is just drastically different from what I grew up with. And so it's more stressful for me, especially being someone who doesn't do well with crowds and, lots of people and lots of stimulation. And we're going from one place to another. We go through, I think, 4 places just on Christmas Day. And then we have 1 or 2 other places that we go to like on a different day or meet up with on a different day.
Yeah, Derek and I did that the first year we got together, and I nipped that in the butt real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, we can do that with them another time. Because it's too much. It's too much. It's so hard to just enjoy and be intentional where you are because you have somewhere else to be.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing that I liked from when I was younger with those moments was that everyone was content where they were. Like there was no having to go to work or I want so and so to come over. Like Christmas was a day to be there and be like fully there, not on your phones. I mean, they weren't really a thing when we were younger, but like, but you could also have, and what I find myself missing is I could go lay down on the couch and chill out.
Yeah.
We could play a game. Like there was that versatility in it, I guess, where like the flexibility that you could do so much. Where like when I go to my grandmother's, there's so many people there and there's hardly anywhere to sit, let alone lay down. And it's a long day. And especially the first time we did that, because I don't know about you guys and how you space it out, but it was like we stayed at my parents' house. We got up, we had breakfast and did Christmas with them. And then we left, went to Derek's mom's house, was there for an hour, left, went to Derek's dad's house, was there for an hour, and then went to my grandmother's house. And then by the time we were there for the rest of the day, but I was over it. I was like, I'm ready to go home. And normally I'm like, I don't want to leave. I was like, I don't like this. And I was like, I simply said to him, I was like, I'm not doing that. Like if people want to get together Christmas Eve, I'm good with that. They want to get together the weekend before Christmas, I'm good with that. The weekend after, I'm good with that. Like, but other than that, I'm not doing that. So luckily now we get together with his mom in January. We do it a couple weeks after the holiday. And I actually really like it because you get to have that intentional time. Like we get to bond, we get to connect. But it's also like the stress of the holiday has gone. And it's almost like another thing you get to look forward to having. And then we get with his dad and stepmom when we can. It's a little bit harder to coordinate schedules. But yeah, no, I
feel like that's a much better concept to have, that it's okay to celebrate not on the initial day.
Yeah, and it's okay to not go everywhere as well. It's okay to go everywhere and it's okay to not go everywhere. You just got to do what's good for you.
Yeah.
I think for me right now, this is just like I'm okay with it as it is. Once we have kids, it'll probably be different, but also things in general might be different by then. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because so what we do is we wake up as early as we can to have Christmas together, Andy and I, in the house, just the two of us. We exchange our presents to each other. And then we go over to his parents' house, which his grandma on his mom's side comes to, and then we have breakfast together, have coffee, and we exchange presents then. And then we go straight from there to Andy's other grandmother's house to see all of the aunts and uncles and cousins, and they all exchange some gifts, and they usually have some finger foods and cookies and stuff. And then we usually get 1 to 2 hours of a break before we then go to Andy's the other grandma that we were with for breakfast, that grandma's house again, for dinner with that side of the family. And then by the time we're done with dinner for that side of the family, we get to go home. And then that's usually where it's a hit or a miss with me of going over to Autumn's house to see the friends and everyone. Because at that point, it's like I can chill with them and be good if I'm still like in that energetic state where I could and I want to be around people, but I just want to chill because I know I can do that there at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I just might want to just pass out at home.
Yeah, no, seriously. I remember that day because Derek, that's one thing Derek likes to do, and that's honestly, we've done it for a long time. Like before Andrew got an apartment with my cousin and all of that was get together. I mean, it's something I was doing with my cousins for a long time.
Yeah.
Was going over to their house after the holidays and hanging out with them and getting to have that time because for whatever reason, like my dad's side of the family never did that stuff. Yeah, no, I remember that first Christmas. I just looked at Derek and I was like, I'm going to bed. Because it's not like the day after Christmas you have off.
Yeah.
It's not like Christmas is a guaranteed Thursday like Thanksgiving where you just have one more work day and then you're off. No, it could be a Monday. It could be a damn Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go back to work that whole week. That's yeah. And then that's the end of it, right? Like you have to like kind of backtrack. You have the whole season of stressing out
Yeah.
on like what you're gonna get so and so. Who are you gonna buy presents for? You know, me personally, I have to pick and choose because I chose for myself a couple years ago to not go broke over Christmas. And that was a concept that's really hard for me because I love getting people the perfect gift, but the stress, I was crying and like just so stressed out and like trying to figure out how am I going to get each person something, because if I don't get them something, to me that feels like I don't love you or I love so and so more than you, and that's not what I'm trying to say. That's not the message I'm trying to give or the vibe I'm trying to give off.
I struggle with that so much.
Yeah. And so I had to pull back. I either had to give myself a very tight budget with each person, or I just had to draw the line. And that line typically is like my immediate family and my boyfriend. And then I started dabbling in like, so you can get photos for really cheap and you can get frames for really cheap, and photos can be very meaningful. And so I was like, okay, I can do that for some, like, or just giving myself like a $10 budget. Like I'll get them a $10 gift card with a card that has like a cute little note. Like I did that one year, things of that nature. Cause I don't want my extended family to think that I don't love them or I don't, what is it? I don't want to share that with them.
Yeah.
Because that's not the case. It's just, I can't go broke. And I have so many people to buy for. Like, so many people to buy for. And it's so stressful. It's so stressful. And I feel like our society is so focused on less of like spending that intentional time together and more of the next trend you're going to purchase, or you know, the dollar signs of the amount of presents you're going to have under the tree and stuff of that nature. And it's just, it can be so stressful at a period that you also have to be everywhere. And then work is also stressful. And like, instead of having that fun, carefree, it's the holiday spirit, you know, you're
I strive.
miserable.
I strive so much for that quality time.
Yeah.
It's definitely what's going to fill my cup through the seasons through the holidays. But Thanksgiving is one of my favorite. It triggers my memory with my grandmother and eating her meals and being around lots of family and being young and kind of naive and focusing. I remember sitting there and like looking at my elders who were around the table and being like, you know, one day they're not going to be here and I'm not going to have this. And I want to say I was in my teens and I was just kind of like, I need to cherish this. And that, so Thanksgiving was like any excuse to get together with family. Like that is a holiday where I love. And that's really where it formed.
Yeah.
That quality time that I really want.
I don't know why, but while you were sharing that, I remembered one of my favorite holiday memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when I lit the table on fire.
What?
Yeah.
What a lead in.
I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, but me and my two cousins on my mom's side, mind you, that's all it was for children, was me and my two cousins until my sister was born. And by that time, I'm the youngest of the three of us. And I was 8 when she was born, so they were 9 and 10. But we were little, and we had like the kids' table, and you had the adults' table, and this was at my grandmother's previous house than where she lives right now.
That isn't.
And
We'll touch on that in a bit.
Oh, I didn't mind it. We loved it because we could be free. We didn't have the control of being near the adults and having to eat whatever we had. We liked it. It was a good vibe. It wasn't like kids, adults, like not that kind of thing. But anyways, for whatever reason, my grandmother decided to put a candle on the children's table, like as a centerpiece. And I can't remember which cousin of mine decided that they needed a napkin, but I handed it to him. And then it went in the candle fire. And then the table was on fire. And then I'm just standing like, table's on fire. And my grandmother's like, the table's on fire.
Holy.
And my uncle's like throwing drinks on it. And I'm just like, the table's on fire. The entire time I'm just watching the flames while the table burns.
A little in shock, a little... Is
More
this
just
real?
like, wow. All I
Look
was
at
trying to
that
do is
flame.
give a napkin.
I have no idea how I'd react because I can't even.
Oh, mind you, it wasn't like this huge fire, like the whole table was engulfed. It was
but fire scares
contained.
me, so.
But it was to me, I look back on it and laugh. And I'm like, yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, the adults got it.
Oh yeah. I mean, my
you can
grandmother
stand
thinks
it.
about it and laughs. She had a holiday where she caught something on fire too.
Oh, so she can't talk.
Yeah, no,
Cool.
no. I get it from her. Like I have this habit of no matter what I wear, I'm going to get my food on it. And I call that grandma syndrome because I got that from her. Oh, it's so funny. Regardless of what she eats, it gets on her shirt and she'll just be like, motherfucker. Like, that's the thing about my grandmother. She has no filter. Like, she'll cuss.
Oh, she's hilarious.
It's so funny. That's thinking of, like, holidays and, like, tradition side. One of my favorite things that we do is make cookies. And it's been my mom, my grandmother, me, and my cousins making cookies. I mean, since I was little. It used to be the same cookie every year. Or the same, I can't even say cookie. Same assortment of cookies every year, because that's one thing about my family. We don't just make one cookie. We make like 12. And there's like 5 batches of each cookie. Like we have a lot of cookies and we give cookies out. Like
they're very serious about their cookies.
yes,
And they're so good.
we have the most fun. But it's just that. Like one year I wanted to make sugar cookies, but I didn't want to do sugar cookie cutouts. I wanted to do like the logs where you have 3 different sugar cookie doughs and you color one green, you color one red, and one is white, and you roll them out and then you roll them so that you have a pattern. This shit's not fucking easy. First off, sugar cookie dough is hard. It is hard to perfect. I have perfected it, but it is hard to do. You got to have it the right temperature to be able to work with it like that. You got to have it the right temperature to put a dye in it. It gets very soft very fast. And my grandmother was fighting with this green cookie dough. And her full hands are green. And we're dying laughing. Like, that's something that me and my grandmother and my mom do really well, is just like that, like, belly bursting laugh, like where your cheeks hurt, your abs hurt, but you can't stop. You're crying. And she's just cussing this dough out. She's cussing this dough out. And I'm dying laughing. So is my mother, and so is she, and her green ass hands. And that's so funny.
Oh, there's
It's a
the
good
Grinch.
time.
She could always use
That's hilarious. Oh, another nail down.
Rip.
Literally. For those of you that don't know, I painted my nails the other day with Brie, and I'm already down 2 nails, and it's been not even a week.
Yeah. We gotta find you some different
Base.
the foundation and top coat,
Yep.
like you said. That is something. So, nails, we started doing that more for the holiday season. We paint our nails, even winter in general, but that's something I've enjoyed. Before, I used to only just, stay in my PJs, relax on the couch, take a nap, play with my toys that I got, spend time with it. Now that I'm up and moving and going different places, I kind of had to start some new traditions for myself around that time. So, like, I enjoy having my nails painted And then I've been wearing the same onesie each year, but I think I want to get a different onesie each year, and then I get to stay in that onesie and not feel pressured to dress up for dinner later that day. I like
love
the
it.
idea of staying in my pajamas, but it's like my thing or something, and I change it up.
It's your house onesie. I have one
yeah.
too.
I get an ugly Christmas hoodie, sweater, sweatshirt every year, and that's
Yeah.
what I wear for Christmas.
Well, don't you guys dress up for Christmas? Isn't that like, I know you've mentioned something about like
PJs?
you get to dress nicely, and that's like one of the times.
They dress up, yeah,
Yeah.
like you're going out to dinner kind of thing. Like,
Mm.
yeah, normally what would happen growing up is like I would get some type of clothing for Christmas, and I would wear that clothing because I need to use everything the moment I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah. But recently I've just been like, no, it's a day I want to be comfy, especially when my previous job where I had to wear more business casual.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I'm gonna wear a hoodie and leggings. My sister's wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Come join the onesie gang. You get to be
I
comfy
mean,
and Christmassy.
I might. I really want to get one of those like legging unitards. I know it's not technically a onesie, but I really want to get one of those. Not that that has anything to do with Christmas, but
We are
my
planning
brain
on
went
getting
there.
matching PJs too.
Yes, so that's another thing that traditions wise around Christmas that my family would do is we would get to open that one present Christmas Eve. But every year, I mean, you knew what it was. It was a Christmas movie, it was a Christmas snack, and it was PJs. And our PJs would always coordinate somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I still demand that. My mom tries to get out of it every year. She tries to get out of it. I don't know why. She's like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, no, you're doing it.
the
Christmas is at your house. You're doing this. You should have thought about this in 1993.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, you don't get me an Easter basket anymore. You're still doing this. Oh, yeah. One of my traditions that has changed that I'm fine with for, well, yeah, whatever. Have to get over it is the stockings. My parents are no longer doing our stockings. Me or my sisters. It's now on our significant others. And that to me is just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't dislike it because then I'm like, okay, Derek does pretty well with gifts. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's kind of like that childhood tradition that you still like to keep going with your parents. It gives you that. But it's fine.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
What were your traditions?
Well, when I was younger, just the norm. Well, for me, that's all I knew. The norm, you would come down, spend all day in your pajamas, eat leftovers, and open some gifts. We always got stockings, and yeah, we still try to do a couple of those things at my parents', but when there's kids involved,
Yeah, it's different.
it's different. And I'm waiting for them to get a little bit older before I start giving like those nicer gifts because I love giving gifts. I try and get them one gift each because right now I feel like I want that quality time versus just getting them a toy that they're going to play with just on Christmas. But my family dynamic is a little hard right now, so there's still a little distance, but I attempt to at least see everyone once and try and make the decisions that are best for me during these times. And if I'm not feeling it that day, I'm not feeling it that day, and I'm not gonna push myself. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm just not.
absolutely.
So I love the holidays. I really do. And even if I'm, sitting alone at home, like it's not like a sad thing. It's just like a me time. I make it into that.
I was gonna say, unless it's intentional, that would never happen because you'd be with me.
I know. I have spent many a holiday with Autumn and her family and love it, and I'm very thankful.
Did you have any Christmas Eve traditions, or was it just a Christmas Day thing?
It was more of a Christmas Day. I mean, I think I remember begging like maybe to open one, but we always had to wait, or they never. I don't think they really ever put any out early, even after we got a little older. They held on to that, I think, as long as they could with us. Especially because I had younger brothers, so when I was older, they were still kids. So, yeah. But now it's about the girls and seeing those smiles on their face when I can be around.
Yeah, I will say that once my nephews came into the picture, like there was a period of time in adulthood where there were no any other kids, and it just kind of felt like, it's Christmas, like it's nice, but
Yeah.
you kind of lose a little bit of the magic, or at least I did. And then once they started coming around again, and my sisters were pulling in their own traditions and carrying some others, and the other Christmas magic that comes with Christmas. I don't know how far we want to touch into it, because I don't know if there's parents listening, if we want to talk deeper into that. But it brought the magic back.
Yeah.
And it feels good to celebrate the holidays around the kids again.
Yeah, there is that extra spark that is very fulfilling.
Yeah.
With kids.
We don't have any kids around.
Not yet.
No
Not
one
yet.
has any children.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Out of the four of us, I don't know who will have kids.
Yeah.
Or if it'll be anytime soon. What's the thing about that side? It's very small.
Yeah, because that's the other place I would go with it, is like, if you had kids, what traditions would you carry on, or what traditions would you create new? That's something I've thought about.
That's a good thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
You already know
Oh my God.
exactly what you want.
My kids would love Christmas. I would go all. I mean, not even just for my kids though, because like if Grace's daughter lived closer, like I would go all out for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love I don't know, like at Christmas morning, we would wake up. When I was really little, I would wake up early, but like as I got older, I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna sleep as long as I can. Then we go downstairs. My mom would get her coffee. I would just be looking at all the presents, like, oh my God. Now, mind you, I grew up poor, so I didn't have a ton of presents, but the presents that I had were things that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so they were fulfilling, meaningful. Couple Christmases, especially in Virginia when my parents were doing the best, there was some that were like all out. Those were great.
Yeah.
But we would open up gifts and we do a rotation. I don't know how you guys do that, but one person would open up. We would all open up our stockings together at once, and then we'd rotate as far as like gifts and opening those. And then once we were done with that, while my sister, my dad, and I are cleaning up all of the gift wrapping and all of that, putting our presents, looking at them, my mom would take some of the Christmas cookies out, and we'd get to snack on Christmas cookies while they made breakfast.
Nice.
And then we would eat breakfast, and then after breakfast, we would get ready and do whatever with our day, depending on where we lived. And I think I would continue that. Like, I really loved the aspect for a couple years before my parents moved to our town. They were one town over. And Derek and I would go stay with them. We would still have that, like, sleepover aspect. But now that they live around the corner, we don't do that. We stay at home. I do kind of miss that, kind of like that. So I think if I were to ever have kids, I would want to re-implement that.
Yeah.
Because that, like, waking up Christmas morning vibe is what it is. Like, I don't want to wake up Christmas morning and then go somewhere to have Christmas morning.
Yep.
It's like waking up and being and having Christmas morning. So, yeah, I think I would do that. And then, I mean, my kids would have a Christmas tree in each of their rooms that I would allow them to decorate however they wanted.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I would. And that's just Christmas. When I was little, for each holiday, I keep moving my mic. I'm so sorry, guys. When I was little, for each holiday, my dad would get me like this little, whatever the animals, was related to it. So like Easter, I would get an Easter basket, but I'd also get a little bunny. Valentine's Day, I'd get a little bear with a little rose. Like things of that nature. So I like those ideas too, implementing those little this is fun. You know, it's different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not expecting it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I assume you'd continue the Christmas Eve gift box.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can get PJs. I really like the idea of the movies. Typically, we would get whatever new movie came out that was like animated, Disney, Pixar, whatever. So I liked that because then you kind of have like your Christmas evening.
Mm-hmm.
Now that did change when I got older because then we moved back here and we ended up having a Christmas Eve party at my parents' house with my family. And that's just like a bunch of like apps, hors d'oeuvres. And then we just kind of like hang out. There's some drinks, just chilling before Christmas the next day. But I think I really like that, sitting back, relaxing, just kind of like reveling in the Christmas. Like it's Christmas Eve. Like, you know, presents are going to be under the tree. Like, it's just got that magical vibe.
Yeah, it really does.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, definitely, I would definitely keep that tradition, and we would be matching PJs for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, the tradition for me of getting to open a present on Christmas Eve, it was just whatever random present I either got to choose, and I'd have to look at my parents and be like, is this one I can choose?
Yeah.
So the Christmas Eve box that you kind of describe with the PJs and a movie and like some candy and stuff like that, that's something I've recently come across.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Especially since I want to start doing the whole different onesie each year. Like, then that could coordinate with matching PJs. And I thought it was really cute. And you get more than one thing, and it doesn't like come from the presents that are supposed to be for Christmas, you know?
Yep.
So I do like that idea. And then I haven't decided yet if I'll be inviting an elf to my house or not.
That's a commitment.
It is a commitment. They're really fun. They sometimes get into some trouble. My nephews have an elf that visits them. His name is Alex. And it's a lot of fun. But, you know, sometimes you're cleaning up a mess. It can be a lot of work.
Yes. And yes.
Yeah.
Stress.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
It really depends on the elf that you get. But once you get to know them, you're kind of stuck with them until, I don't know, when do they leave? I don't know. My nephews aren't old enough for me to know what happens with the elf, but
they weren't.
It's a
they
very
might be
foreign
stuck with them
concept to
for
me.
life.
I was gonna say that wasn't a thing when I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get visited by elves either.
I was like, you're going to invite over an elf impersonator? Like, what? It took me a hot minute to be like, oh, that thing. Because I've never experienced it. So it always slips my mind.
I did, however, used to leave out cookies and milk for Santa, but I would also leave out a carrot or an apple or something for the reindeer because I wanted to make sure they were fed too.
No.
How does Santa get to
I
have
didn't
all
think
the
about the
food?
reindeer. I ain't gonna lie to you. That wasn't a thing when I was little. I put cookies out.
I really wanted
cookies and
those
milk.
cookies.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing about my mom being my mom
Mhm.
because she wanted the cookies too. So we would always put the cookies out on the specific cookie platter with the specific cookie mug or the specific milk mug. And then we would each choose our favorite cookies. And mine is the raspberry almond squares. Oh, they're so good. We don't make them anymore.
Sad.
Yeah, I don't want to make them their bitch.
I was going to say, bring them back.
No.
Did you guys?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I gotta make cutouts. And that's enough for all the of you that don't know. I posted an Easter TikTok. I do cutouts on the holidays, or I try to do cutouts for each holiday, but there's so much work.
Yeah.
There's so much work. And I have found that it's something that I need to do on my own because I get very particular. Because to me, it's like I'm making these for people, so I want them to look not uniform in a sense of way, but like I want them to go. And then when I get someone else in the mix, they're like, I want to be creative. And it's like, okay, but let's make cookies on a Wednesday then.
Yeah.
You take pride.
We can be creative then, but like here I have an image. I just need you to help me execute
Yeah.
But no, that is one of my main cookies that I am requested to make, and so that is very time and labor intensive. So I don't have room for another intensive cookie.
I've watched her make them. She's telling the truth.
Yes. Christmas cookies are a little bit different because like they can be kind of whatever. I've kind of given that away because there's just so many that I have to make that it's just impossible for me to make them all. And then by the time I'm like even a quarter of the way through, I'm dipping them in the icing and moving on. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah. A holiday that we haven't talked about is New Year's and the New Year's traditions that I've had. So when I was little, probably up to living on my own, our New Year's tradition, or I will say being old enough to go out, our New Year's tradition was to be home. We'd be chilling at home, and we would get like a American Chinese food buffet. And it would just be like a range of just so much food. And then my mom would get us like the sparkling grape juice stuff or apple juice or whatever it was. And we would drink that and we would have like little things. Whatever those. I don't know what they're called. You know, they go the and then they like you blow on them and then they go I'm killing
I love these descriptions.
It's perfect though.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Without the visuals, do you understand? I don't know. But yeah, so we'd have those, and I'd always have a friend over or two friends over, depending on the year and whatnot. And then that was a lot of fun. That was good times. And then getting older, our town has a ball drop, and my cousins and our friends and I think it was 2016. Sure, 2016. Going into 2017 maybe, that we did that. And then we've done it a couple years missed in between, but we've tried to do it ever since. And we have this photo, but before that it was just like, you know, typical what do 21-year-olds do on New Year's kind of thing. A lot of Pong, Flip Cup, King's, whatever it's called.
King's
Cup. Yeah, good times.
I'm pretty chill for New Year's. Kind of boring, but my significant other has always had to work, and I kind of just I can't remember the last time I went out for New Year's. And the worst is the one time I was supposed to go to this fancy event. I was looking forward to this so much. Had a ball gown. It was really fancy, and I was going with my sister, and I got food poisoning.
Ooh, I'm
It
sorry.
was the worst.
I remember the New Year's before COVID happened. I had bronchitis. Remember that?
Yeah.
Sick on holidays sucks.
Oh yeah, and then I got the vid on Christmas, 2020. That fucking sucked. That fucking sucked. Being sick on Christmas sucks, but being sick and then isolated from everyone really sucks.
Yeah.
That winter was not a good one. That was not a good entrance.
No.
I mean, I can't hate on it because that's kind of how I met John. Well, that's how we really got to know each other, was through having COVID, through the holiday season. Oh, it was totally during Christmas too.
Yeah, except for I was literally like isolated upstairs. Derek had to stay downstairs. I had to stay upstairs. Like we were sick. You were very lucky in the fact that you weren't sick.
No symptoms. I was very lucky. Besides, I think like just a little lower back pain.
Yeah.
But I already deal with pain, so I was like, what's what's this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the one New Year's Eve that you were able to go out and you got sick?
That wasn't the same time. That was that was a couple years ago when I was with my sister.
Right, but was that your only time that you were able to go out and then you got sick?
I
Yeah,
think
like you said, you usually have like a chill New Year's Eve. So
yeah, I don't like. That's the thing is, I really, 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 I want to go out on New Year's. I always think I'm gonna buy this dress and go out, and then I never end up doing anything. So it's always like, I don't, I don't know. Like
mm,
why don't I go out and do something? I don't know.
That would be fun. Like having like a legit New Year's party. Cuz like normally we just or going to like a legit New Year's party like at a casino or something. I don't know
Yeah.
where they have legit New Year's parties around us, but just having that like what I experienced New York City and LA and like the big cities doing and like having that sparkly dress
Yeah,
or
I just
whatever
want a sparkly dress is
and
the real
going
reason.
out. Yeah.
I just want to feel sparkly.
I mean, we could do that this year. There's nothing saying we can't do that. We could do that.
I mean, we can even just go down by where our ball drop happens. There's
Mhm.
a area where we can party.
I mean, yeah, there's tons of bars.
That's true.
And the nice thing about New Year's is that you can nap from like 6 until 9. And that, like, we legit did that one year. That was when you were around, right?
I think so.
We
I like to take my New Year's slow.
we got together at like 6 and we did dinner. And then everyone, we were at, I don't know if,
Maybe I wasn't.
I think my cousin was living there when this happened.
Mm.
But everyone just decided to take a nap. And we took a nap.
Yeah, no, what am I talking about? I've only experienced maybe 2 or 3 actual New Year's with you guys.
Okay, yeah.
Because the first New Year's you guys went to a different state
Mm-hmm.
To see your cousin.
Yeah, that was the coldest fucking New Year's ever. We went to Boston because my cousin had just moved over there with Grace and they had their baby. And I didn't leave that fucking apartment the entire time we were there. It was like negative 25 or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm going to stay right here where it's warm. I'm be a hermit. It was great.
I mean, that's typically what my New Year's were.
Mm-hmm.
With my family, we would stay inside, not do anything that day. It's a nice, lazy, laid-back day. And they would get the sparkling grape juice, and we'd stay up till midnight and go to bed. And then once I got to like 15, 16, like high school, and I was able to go to my sister's apartment and then house later on, I would celebrate with them, and I'd be able to get a little alcoholic drink, and it'd be a little more laid back, like more like I'm with friends, and it was fun. And then I moved out here, and you guys have your get together. It felt more like a party, but you could still be chill because it was at a house and more laid back. So it was like nice to be able to do something different. You're having fun with friends, and you kiss at midnight, and it's just fun. It's a fun social event that
we
isn't
still
too
get that
overwhelming.
sense of going out too, because we're going to the ball drop later on as well, and we take a picture, or we try to take a picture every year of the people that are there.
Yeah, my first picture with you guys was last year.
I know
Because it was like the one where you guys were out of state, and then I think we just didn't go for a year or two. Because we stayed in the town that we were, that was a town away from where the ball drop happens. I don't remember going.
I think that we had either gotten too far into drinking or we just ended up not wanting to go. And I think it was just the 1 year in between.
Yeah. Because then COVID happened?
Right. We didn't end up going. Okay, it was 2 years. Because the first, I don't know. Because I think there was 2 New Year's. And then you were the third one, so that would have been 17, that would have been 18. That first one then would have been 19. So yeah, and then into 20. So 2 years where we didn't go. Yeah. And that second year was here in the house that I live in now, but we had a bigger party. Like we had a lot more people over, so we didn't want to leave. And I had bronchitis and didn't want to go. And then and then it was COVID.
Yeah, man, thinking of the year before COVID. Like, I remember the
I
other
know.
ones so clearly, but that hurt my head. Like, the COVID
Yeah.
memory,
Mm.
it makes it so foggy.
It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like almost 4 years ago. Like 2019 wasn't 4 years ago. Like, that's impossible. Because 2020 and 2021 didn't exist.
It didn't exist. It's in a different timeline.
Yeah, like
I can't
time didn't
reach
exist.
It's so hard to reach back and find memories from that. Like, I see
Yeah.
some, but when I'm trying to think in the timeline, I like have to jump over to the side. Like, it's a different part of the timeline, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Wacky.
But yeah, I would love to do that this year. We should go to the ball drop. We should get a photo.
We
That should be
should.
one of the photos that we get. That would be fun. Let's dress up. Let's
Yeah.
dress up however we want to dress up. You know, if we want to be in sparkly dresses, let's be in sparkly dresses. If we want to be, because normally it's really cold, so
I know. I was like,
I'm gonna be in sweatpants and a hoodie and a jacket.
Yeah.
realistically, I probably will too. But maybe I can find some sparkle sweatpants.
Yeah.
Goals.
Sparkly jacket, sparkly hat, sparkly headband.
There we go.
I'll have some sparkly earrings. Just kidding.
It feels like New Year's is a holiday where we get to make our tradition for.
Yes.
And so I want us, like, I feel like we had it and then COVID happened and we've kind of been like trying to get back to it.
Yes.
It's just kind of like slippery.
Yeah.
I want us to get back to it and like have that true tradition because I did enjoy it and I would love to enjoy it again.
Yeah. I see, and I'm open for suggestions and ideas, but I want to like kind of dig into a little bit more of like the game night. And like our friend group really likes to have board game nights and just having like a big board game night where we have all the different games or we can have multiple games going at once or whatever, but also still having like the Pong tournament and drinking games and stuff of that nature. And maybe we have, I don't know. I also kind of thought about implementing like a gift exchange, like kind of having New Year's and Christmas together, but doing kind of like a
Secret
Santa Chinese gift exchange kind of thing. If there's a better word for that, please do tell me. But like that kind of vibe, kind of marrying those two together, and then like that would kind of create our own tradition.
Yeah.
But
I do. So you gave me an idea off of that, where you turn it in. It's a party game, but you also have the gift exchange. I've seen it done without it being wrapped, but it can be wrapped small gifts under a certain price point, whatever. And then you have tea light candles that you light with fire down a straight line.
Yeah.
And they have to blow it out. The one that it blows to is
You
the
get
present
that.
they get.
Yeah.
That's fun. And then, like, I don't know, maybe you do the other rule where it's just the party game part where you take that many shots on top of it if you want to make it into
that'd
a
be
drinking
fun.
game.
We should do that. That sounds
Yeah.
fun. Because we were thinking the gift exchange being like having that as a cap, like a $10, $15 cap, but it can be $5, it could be $1, whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's when you go and they're all, you know, wrapped and you just choose one if you're the first person. And then that next person can either choose a gift or choose your gift. And you do open it. And so they know what your gift is, but maybe they choose a different gift. And then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And then separately, I would want to have either just like a gift exchange or like a Secret Santa kind of thing so that you're still getting that intentional gift.
Yeah. I like Secret Santa in some instances, but in others, like in that instance, I would feel like, I don't know, I feel the pressure of like wanting to get the perfect gift for them, but then there's that cap too, and it's like, I don't know, I let the pressure get to me and it makes me anxious.
Okay. Because I think it's a good idea for like someone like you and like to like get to know each other. Because then you're like, oh, what is
That's the anxiety.
what is like sports or whatever?
I'm sweating.
Well, the beauty of it is you can just redraw till you get a name you like. It doesn't have to be stressful or anything like that. But I just didn't want everyone to feel like they had to get a gift for every single person because we have a big friend group.
Yeah.
And that can be, especially on top of your family, that can be daunting. So I was just thinking like something along the lines. So you can still give your intentional gift, but you can still get a really funny one too for the Chinese gift exchange. And yeah, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
So I thought about implementing something like that, but I hadn't decided on whether I wanted them to be separate or together. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that aspect. And then there's, the flip side of that, which is the stress and overwhelming and having that pressure of having to be everywhere and having to do so much and having like schedule full.
Yeah.
And in essence, especially, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm a little nervous with this upcoming holiday season because of our podcast schedule. And then also trying to balance what I'm already balancing plus holiday.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of like burnout. You just burn the fuck out.
Yeah.
Dreading a little, but also mentally trying to prepare myself.
Yeah.
Like, like we're almost to Thanksgiving, so we're doing good. Mentally, we're doing good so far.
But you lose that sense of like when that happens, at least for me, like I lose that sense of joy. And I'm just like, okay, just another day.
That's why I like that we've had this conversation, because when it comes to my seasonal depression, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, it's focusing on those stressful points of like, oh, I have to do this and then go here and then go here and go here. And I have to make sure I have all these things and that they're all wrapped. And like all the things start to add up on the list and it feels burdensome and you're already burnt out just thinking about it, let alone having to go do it. But then we just sat here and talked about all of the positive things, the things we look forward to, our traditions, the feel good. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually, I'm actually like, I feel good about this. I'm excited. So I feel like it's important to have the conversations about the stress and the burnout and all of that come with it. But don't forget to talk about the good things too.
Yeah. Yep. I just don't want anyone out there who, might have like single moms. I always think of single moms at this time of the year, or single parents in general. I shouldn't even just specify just moms because it's dads too, grandparents, sister, uncle, whoever is taking care of a child on their own. Like this is a stressful time of year, especially with children because like they have expectations, especially when they're in like that middle school, high school era and they got to hit the trends and they got to have this and that. And
it's hard.
It is. It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard time of year. But like Bree said, just trying to focus on those intentional moments. Those intentional moments and that feeling that they give and holding on to that feeling and letting that carry you through versus the hard.
Yeah. It's like when you're in those deeper moments of like feeling that stress and feeling that burnout and you hear those voices talking to you, acknowledging that that's okay. That's valid. You have to go through that. That fucking sucks. Live in that. Yeah, absolutely. Valid. And then just think about those good times. Maybe make a list. What do you look forward to? What were traditions that brought you a lot of happiness that you're now carrying through? Or like those things, and just feel the feelings.
Yeah. I like that. That almost made me think of like when I'm feeling very burnt out or stressed, overwhelmed, whatever the case may be, like I go to a happy place.
Yeah.
And just making that happy place specific to that season or that holiday. And then you kind of get that vibe again. And then you get that motivation. I like that. That's a good perspective.
And with like Christmas, with all of the decorations, a lot of people keep like a lot of personal things that I can't think, what is it called? It's not mementos. But it's very personal, like trinkets and stuff that have a lot of memories tied to them. There's a specific word I'm looking for, and I'm missing it.
Sentimental?
Sentimental, yes. Sentimental things. And maybe it's tied to a happy memory. And in those moments, if you're struggling to feel it and bring yourself into the present moment to feel those feelings, maybe actually going over there and touching that item and cleaning it if it's dusty and like just, spending time with that, spending time in those feelings. And
Another thing I like to do, because like the holiday season is so long, it's like even though I'll start decorating on the 1st of November, I don't think I actually I don't finish decorating until the middle of December. Like I kind of almost pull it out. I don't know what's the word that I want.
Drag it out?
Drag it out. I drag it out.
Oh.
Because then it's like it still feels refreshed. I'm adding a new decoration. And it's just things like I'll put all the trees up first. We'll do the lights. We'll do like that big stuff. And then I'll redo the one wall that I have with my dresser, and I'll make that Christmassy. And then I'll move to the kitchen. We'll do the kitchen above the cabinets, and we'll make that Christmassy. And then maybe the next weekend, I'll like right around Thanksgiving is when I normally decorate the trees. Like we'll have the trees lit. They'll be like, we'll use those weeks to get them fluffed because I fucking hate fluffing trees.
It's so prickly.
It's just, it's a compulsion of mine needing it to be perfect. But so I'll give myself some time, not pressure, to kind of fluff it as I can. So I'll fluff one side at a time and stuff of that nature. I can walk away, come back, see different holes before I decorate it. And then I'll decorate it that weekend. And then I'll continue that. And it kind of makes it, at least for me, it helps keep that happiness alive. Like it helps keep that vibe going. Like I'm excited. I'm still motivated. Because a lot of it is like decoration and spreading that vibe.
Yeah. Your house is very warm and cozy to be at when it is truly the season and not the day after Halloween. My heart gets a little sad. But no, I do really enjoy being over at your house when it's fully decorated. It feels really good.
Oh, thank you. I love that. I love that.
I like it because, again, I almost get that joy from seeing how happy you are.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love Christmas.
Yeah.
It's probably the most excited you'll ever see is Christmas. Like, I don't know. That's with my normal depression. That's probably something that I struggle with the most is like excitement, like true excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Something big has to be happening for me to really feel excited. Like, you want to go to a theme park? Probably not going to be excited about it. I'm going to look forward to it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have a good time. But I'm not feeling that, like, anticipation, adrenaline rush kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, though, I get so hype.
Yeah.
Just like the beach.
I will say, whenever we talk about being empaths or clairsentient, we always talk about like being around other negative people and how you can take on their energy and how that can be draining and all of that. At the same time, where you talk about how it's your strength, it's times like this where it's like I can feel your love and your joy and your excitement over this, and it rubs off onto me, and it feels good to be around.
Yeah. Aw, I love that. Yeah. And I honestly, I like, maybe it's a new perspective for you, I'm not sure, but I like November when your house is Halloween and my house is Christmas. Because it's like you get the best of both worlds. Like we can come over here and we can get that vibe. Because I don't dislike Halloween. I'm not going to lie to you. Most of my life I was terrified of it. But I'm finding a new love for it. It's just not, we're just opposites that way. And I like that transitional period where it's both. Like you can just experience both. And like each house is just a different vibe.
Yeah. I like that we balance out in that way because it's like we get excited during the fall and Halloween's coming up. And then for me, November is a really hard time because I have a lot of trauma anniversaries that happen in November. But you help me through it through your excitement of building up Christmas now. And so it's like excitement. There's like months now of like holidays and like the good feelings that go with them that it feels good. And then I need to look forward to like Valentine's Day or something, because I feel like
Meh.
after New Year's, it just kind of drops off and
It
it's
does.
just
and
winter.
It's like it's until May that
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
or well, I mean, you have Easter, I guess, and like April, March,
Yeah.
April, depending on the year.
And it just feels
but
like
it's-
I'm waiting out winter at that
Yeah,
point.
it's like you don't have anything to like look forward to.
Football's ending. There's like a month left of
Yeah.
football after
Yep.
New Year's, and then it's
We need to come up
Valentine's
with
Day.
something. Maybe we need to come up with something. Maybe we have New Year's separate and we wait until February and have like a February. It's like
Friendsgiving, Miss.
Yeah.
Like conglomeration of.
Frienduary,
Ooh.
and we have a party and we have our own holiday and we make that a tradition.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I kind of really like that idea.
Mhm.
And we can have, and then it doesn't have to feel, it can be whatever kind of gift. Do you know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like Christmas has this expectation of like, the gift has to be like perfect. You have to hit it on the head.
Mhm.
But like this gift, it can be like whatever you saw that made you think of that person or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's cool. Or just another way to like, we could go do something fun. That's another thing I would like to implement, which kind of falls into like the conversation that we had a couple weeks ago
Mhm.
about moving with the seasons. Is like after Christmas, like you said, there's nothing to kind of look forward to other than the sun coming.
Yeah.
The sun coming back. But like that, I feel like it's the best time for us to go on vacations.
Mm.
It's having a winter vacation in February, go somewhere sunny and warm.
Yeah.
If we do a party, then we should we should at least sit down and discuss maybe for next year or the year after doing something like that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Start bringing that into fruition or
Mhm.
planning it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like I feel like that's a good time to go. Like I like the idea of like, you know, Andrew likes to snowboard
Mhm.
and like us going just to go to the lodge, just to have that like I can see us bringing like a book to read or I don't know, like a card game, games or something and like having some drinks and food and just having that same kind of space but like a different scenery, different vibe kind of thing or like getting a cabin where they can then go snowboarding and we can have our own space in the cabin or whatever. Just like something like that, like on a smaller scale. I thought about doing things like that just cuz it almost gets you out of the funk. Like your space of funk.
Yeah, I get that statement.
Yeah. I don't know. I see that time, like I like the idea of the party because then that's something to look forward to, but when it
Mhm.
comes to like the other getting out of the house, doing this activity, even if it's more of a chill activity, that's where I'm like, okay, this is if I say I'm going to commit to this sort of thing, that's me working against myself. I need this time to be okay with staying at home or in the general area and doing more like painting and like I'm okay with being at home in those moments. I don't need to get out of the house and travel around in the winter. That's where I start to feel the pressure of like I have to go and do these things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I really just need to stay at home and rest. Like true rest of winter.
See, I'm the opposite. I gotta get out. Like I can have that, but I can't be surrounded by the same. Like COVID was really bad in that aspect, where
Yeah.
like I was just surrounded by the same thing all day, every day, and it becomes monotonous to me. And then that's where my depression gets even worse. So to like just have something like break it up, even if it's for like a day or a weekend. I don't really want anything too crazy. Unless I am going somewhere warm where I'll actually have the motivation from the sun
Oh, yeah.
to do whatever. I just kind of need something like that. But it probably wouldn't happen more than once. Like it would be like a one and done kind of thing. Because if I tried to do that, it would burn me out.
Yeah. I at least live with a winter person. Like you said, Andy likes to go snowboarding.
Mm-mm.
He does activities in the winter and enjoys snow. Not me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you have fun.
Yeah.
I've been skiing once.
I went skiing. Fuck that shit. That hurt.
I prefer
Definitely.
skiing to snowboarding. I get freaked out if my feet are attached or have to be connected to one thing.
I haven't tried snowboarding. I
Ugh.
feel like I'd probably like it better. Those skis hurt so goddamn bad. They hurt so bad. My shins were on fire. On fire. And I will never do that again. I will never do that again.
Yeah.
Skiing itself was fine. Like the actual sport, I quite actually enjoyed it. And you get really hot. So it's not like cold's really not a factor because you really do start sweating. And I could do the taco, pizza, French fry, whatever the hell the analogy is.
Yep.
But I ended up, like, I paid for like a full 4 hours, and I think I only lasted like an hour and a half because my shins hurt so goddamn bad. And I walked from the bunny slope because I was learning back to the resort thing, the hall. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Cabin.
Yeah, whatever. With no shoes on because I was in pain, and I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
I'm gonna put my Uggs on with no socks because that's how done I am. And then I hung out in the big place at a table and read a book while they finished, and I was fine. I was perfectly fine. I was content. I was happy. Still around people, but not around people. I could zoom in and just focus on my book and clear everything else out. It's great. But yeah.
I feel like we covered a pretty much all of well, we didn't really touch too much on Thanksgiving. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go in depth. It's okay. We can talk about Thanksgiving next year.
Yeah.
You talked about it. You like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I brought it up.
Yeah.
I definitely love Thanksgiving.
It's not a holiday that I have as many traditions. And honestly, for a while, Thanksgiving.
You know, it's the food. Come on.
Yeah.
It is the food, but for a while it kind of had, I mean, we could touch on it right now. I don't mind talking about it, but for a while it had that negative side to it because I worked retail. And prior to COVID, like you were leaving at 6 o'clock to go to work on Thanksgiving. Like I would leave at 6 to then be up until 4 o'clock the next morning. And so Thanksgiving was just like, if I had to be there kind of thing. Like, oh, I have to be there. When really I kind of want to do nothing all day and sleep. Because I know the night I'm about to have and the weekend that it's leading into. So I'm really glad that that's like a positive that came out of, you know, what, 2020 and 2021 ended up being was that went away. That's not, like, it starts Friday. It no longer starts on Thursday. So you at least have that full day to spend it however you like with the holiday.
That used to make me so mad.
Yeah, at least around here. I don't know about other places. I don't know what this year was bringing, but at least the past years, it stopped. It fully stopped. It's also something that I had to experience as a kid because my parents still worked retail. So a lot of the times my mom and dad were leaving later that night and we were staying with my grandparents. So it's just not a holiday that's as special to me as like Christmas or New Year's because it's not like I didn't get that intimate time or intentional time as much as those other holidays because, I mean, they were either leaving for work or they were leaving to go shopping. And me either being the kid couldn't go shopping with them because they were shopping for me or as an adult I then had to work. So, and I think I went Black Friday shopping once. I don't know, there's this one year that I thought I was Wonder Woman or some shit because I don't know how I lived through that weekend. I ended up with hives. But I worked from I think 5 or 6 on Thursday until 6 or 7 the next morning. And then no, I'm sorry. I lied to you. I worked until 6, I think until 11. And then I went shopping with your brother.
Oh, boy.
Cece's brother and I think my sister. And then I went, and that was until like 2. And then I went home and I slept for 2 hours. And I went back to work at like I don't know, 5 or 6.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I worked at the one store I was working at until 1. And then the next store I went to work at from 1 to 10.
I'm tired.
I know. Oh.
And I think around 2 o'clock I had hives all over my body. Because my body was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I went home because I had to go home.
Your body said, you're done.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. That's a crazy year. But that's to me, that's what Thanksgiving is it just, it's a dinner. And then that was it.
For me, it was just me and my parents and my sister growing up. So until my sister got married to her now wife, it was just us. And my dad always cooked meals every night. It was just a different meal, and it was Thanksgiving. And, we were about to put up Christmas the next day. Like, it still felt like a different day. It was nice, but it wasn't like anything too special. Weren't any traditions outside of like dishes that he would make. And then once my sister got married, we went over. Well, I think my parents still had a Thanksgiving with me. And then we went over to my sister-in-law's parents' house, all of us, to have Thanksgiving together there. And then now that we moved up here, Thanksgiving is between Andy's parents, I think, have like a soup day or something with like some of the aunts and uncles. And then both his grandmas have their own Thanksgivings. And then I also have my parents' Thanksgiving, which is with, again, still my sister-in-law and their family. And they all happen on different days, at least. Like, I don't have to go from one dinner to the other. I know some people have to do that, and all the power to you. I feel for you in your stomachs. Because right now it's like day 1, day 2, day 3. Maybe there's a little bit of spacing out. Maybe they're back to back. And it's, for me, because I'm vegan, it's all the same food. And so it's usually like someone will make me, and I will make myself certain dishes, and then that gets spread out through the dinners. So it's not even all fresh. They're leftovers on top of it. And usually I like leftovers, but I make it into like a sandwich or something different.
Or a day has passed by.
But no. And it's usually like the family here locally. My parents and family live an hour away. I have the leftovers from their meals, and then my dad still makes me his Thanksgiving food for me. So then I have their meal, and they're usually the last one, and I feel bad because it's the food I grew up with, so I love his stuffing and his turkey and stuff, but by then it's the 4th Thanksgiving-esque meal I've had, and I'm just kind of over it, and I'm so stuffed.
You need to request, can you make me a burger here?
I know.
I need teriyaki chicken here. And Thanksgiving at my parents', because that's sentimental. You gotta eat that.
Yeah.
That's the best. Have that sentimentality with the food. It just doesn't taste right if it isn't there. It's just like when you wake up and like your significant other, your parent makes your breakfast over you making your own breakfast. It just tastes better when they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I am extremely grateful for Andy's family because they have been so accommodating to me and my dietary needs. And you and your family and you, Cece, like you all have been so accommodating to me. And I became vegan in a time where it wasn't really the fad and trend yet. So that's not something I've been used to.
Yeah.
It was new for me coming up here. So it is something I really appreciate about that in general, but also around Thanksgiving is that there are dishes for me around here. So I truly do appreciate it and I'm grateful for it at the time. It's just at the same time, my stomach.
It's a lot at once. Like I said, it's not like you have days in between where you're having other meals.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to eat the same thing back to back to back to back to back unless it's that one specific comfort food. If you do that,
My breakfast that I've had
which
every
I
day
do
for 5 years.
Mine changes. It can be like for a while throughout the summer, it was cucumbers. Like I just wanted to eat cucumbers all the time, and I would. I would just slice them up, or I would just eat them whole with some ranch. I don't know. And they're just really light and
Cucumbers are
refreshing.
good. They're
And
a
they're
good
really
snack.
good for you. They're really good for you. I learned that. I was like, okay, well, there's a plus. But yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my tidbit on Thanksgiving. The biggest one is probably definitely like Christmas with just has the most traditions around it, I guess. I mean, you have the summer holidays too, but I feel like those just hit different because like it's not like the
Spread
end of the
out.
year. We're
Yeah.
like, this is the end of the year. This is like almost the beginning of all of that, and it's spread out, and you're coming off of the time where you didn't have anything, so you're like ready for it.
Yeah.
We're like Thanksgiving and Christmas are like back to back, and they're big holidays.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the holiday season.
Yeah, the holiday season.
That's going to be in my head now, and I'm going to be like, no! Not yet. Well, I will say...
Spooky, scary skeletons.
Yes. Christmas music is something that has never been ruined for me because I didn't work retail, so I feel for you. I feel for you.
There is only certain songs I can listen to this day. Most of the time, like now, I'll just put on like Derek and I really like just like the jazz where there's not really any lyrics. It's just the music.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. And then you have like some of your classics, like I'm just gonna say my favorite movie, not even specific to the season, but my favorite movie when I was a little kid was Santa Claus. I broke the VHS. I don't know if I've said this before. I feel like I've talked about it before, but I don't know if it made it on an episode.
Yeah.
But I legit broke that VHS when I was little. I watched it so much, and then I had a full meltdown, and my grandmother had to repurchase it. And so every year that is one of my traditions. I have to watch the Santa Claus. Like you with your movies. I have to watch the Santa Claus. There's another one that I'm missing that I watch. Oh, the Polar Express. Gotta watch the Polar Express. And that's something my sister, my mom, and I would do a lot, was watch the Polar Express.
My holiday movies. Movies was like the big thing for my parents, right? I think I talked about this in the traditions, talking about Halloween. But Christmas was the one where we would have a number of movies within a span of a month that we would watch. So we'd have like a set list. We'd go out and watch Christmas movies. Christmas movies were always on in the house, even Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh my God, my
were
grandmother
on.
loves Hallmark Christmas movies.
My favorite is, oh no, Christmas Vacation.
Oh, the Lampoon or
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Love it. It's yeah, it was one of my favorites that we'd always watch. And we finally got Andy to watch it for the first time last year. That felt good to show him. He's never seen it before. And we were like, what are you talking about? We quote this movie all the time. You need to watch it.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I think I've seen it once or twice. I don't think I've seen it a ton.
Yeah.
Because I know the gist of it. Is that the one where they fight over the lights? What's the one where they fight over the lights and they want to be seen from outer space with the lights?
He lights up his whole house, but he's not like fighting with anyone for the lights. He's fighting himself to know how to turn on the lights because he thinks all of the bulbs are dead or something, and it ends up being a switch in the garage. But no, I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called.
I don't either. But one of the recent movies that has come out that kind of feels like Santa Claus is the Christmas Chronicles on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about it last year. I never watched it.
It has that same vibe that Santa Claus had. But like a different storytelling of it. Yeah. I like both. I don't particularly love Santa Claus 2 or 3. Strictly just the first original one, and that's about it. I hardly will ever watch the sequel or threequel.
I liked the one where he was finding his wife. I think that was the second one, and the third one was Jack Frost or something.
Yeah, the second one just the automated the duplicate annoyed me. It just annoyed me. And it slightly creeped me out with the way that it was made. And I just didn't really like it. And I was just like, why couldn't he just find a wife in a different way?
Yeah, see, I blocked out that part
But
of the
I
movie.
also-
don't know
I
it at
also
all.
was such a diehard Santa Claus fan, and there was
Mm.
such a big gap between the first one and the second one
Yeah.
that like it was almost that generational change. Like they was like, we have to make it more relevant to the younger generation. And so they came out with the second one, but like the first one was so sentimental to me. Like I don't even remember the first time I watched it. It was just always there.
Yeah.
And it would be like April. And I'd be at my grandmother's house watching Santa Claus.
That made me think of the second one because so much time had passed. You see Charlie, that's the kid's name, right? I think it's Charlie. He's like a teenager or something now. He was such a nice, sweet kid, and you expect like they're gonna keep him that way, but no. I feel like that was actually just thinking back on my cobweb memory right now of it. That was a pretty good representation of the psychological growth that could happen.
Oh yeah,
given their complex situation.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like the movie itself is fine. The story is fine. It's literally just the duplicate that I couldn't. It annoyed me. It was like, no, I don't like you. And I think that that's the point. You're not supposed to like the character.
Yeah.
But it just like gave me that like icky vibe. And then I didn't like Jack Frost at all. I was like, this is a reach.
Yeah, I didn't like Jack Frost.
This is a reach. I don't want this.
I like him as an actor. I felt like he felt good in that part. Like he looked like a Jack Frost.
Yeah, he's the same character that's in that TV show with Selena Gomez and the Cheaper by the Dozen guy.
Yeah.
Or the Pink Panther guy.
Yeah.
The three of them in that Murders in the Building or something of that nature. That's really good. That's on Hulu.
Yeah.
It's a really good TV
I've
show.
heard it's good. I just
It's good.
haven't
You should watch
watched
it.
it.
It's good. And I'm waiting for a new season to come out. But yeah, I think it wraps it up. You know, if there's any questions you have or any ideas or anything else that you want to talk about that you want us to talk about, we're definitely open to hearing them. We can always pull them for next year or just have some random holiday conversation in the middle of spring or winter.
I definitely want to hear what your traditions are. Like, I want to hear how, like, are ours far-fetched or are we traditional? Or I just want to, get a different perspective.
Yeah, I think there's so many different perspectives, especially with like all the different cultures and beliefs. And I think that's like one of my favorite things to experience is through others, their culture and their beliefs and like their traditions and stuff. So like, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Please share.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Unfiltered 3. Remember, we release new episodes every Monday. But if that's not enough, connect with us on our socials at Unfiltered 3, where we can uplift, inspire, and embark on this journey together. Thank you for listening and for being a part of our community. Until next time, take care and keep shining your authentic light. Bye, guys.
Bye.